All right, guys. So I have my base coat down. And what I'm going to do is I want to kind of show you how to add a little bit of depth, dimension, and color. Now you can use kind of any accent color that you want. I've had people that have used like a fuchsia color. They've used more like, I'm going to use like a terracotta color here, I think. Oh no. That broke off in there. Nice. I'm going to use kind of an orange here. Might have, oops, mix it. Okay. And then I'm going to use a brown in there too. So I kind of want to show you guys how we're going to do this. All right. So I got my first base coat down. And what I do is I like to do kind of a wet on wet painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and start with a second coat here. And what I do, now I'm just using a round brush on this. You can use a flat brush, you can use a filbert, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this gray and go right along this side here. But I'm going to work, see how you keep going over it and you just kind of work it in. And it really softens it up. So I'm going to do that again on this petal. I'm going to put my white on there to get it wet. This will be my second coat. I like to do 2 coats of white on most things. I'm just going to add just a little bit of gray on the tip there. And kind of bring that in. Give it a little bit up here. Go right. Ooh, that's a little too dark. See how that's a little bit too dark? I'm going to wipe off my brush a little bit on my paper towel. Just kind of wipe it off. Then I'm going to come back and see how that just kind of really softly goes in there like that. Grab my white. So let's finish up the rest of these guys. And then I'm going to show you the middle part of it. Grab a little gray. Do this one. Now you guys, you don't have to do this to your paintings by any means, but I like to do it. I think it adds just a little bit to your piece. I think it gives them some definition to them. You know what? I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow here too. Look at, just add just a little bit. That's a little bit too bright. So I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to come back in. Oops. And you guys, if you get too much on there, if you feel like, ooh, that's a little bit too much on there, just go back over with a little bit of white. See how I'm just going in with that white? Now, if it's a lot that you put in there, you're gonna have to wait till it dries and then go back in and kind of cover it up a little bit. Grab my white. A little bit of gray. Just kind of drag that around. See how it makes a little bit of a difference in there? Got a little bit of gray. Now I'm using for my gray, I'm using Elephant Gray by Apple Barrel. Is what I'm using there. Just kind of come back in and soften that up. And we'll do this last petal here. Just a little bit of gray in there. Okay, Now, you can even do, no, don't ask me what these are called because I am not a flower person by any means, but you can even just add a little bit of these little stems kind of coming out, or centers, whatever they are called. Like that. Now, I'm going to wash my brush out just a little bit here. I'm going to add just a little bit of that yellow. Just real lightly, you guys. I hardly have any pressure on this brush, and I hardly have any paint on this brush. I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow in there, just to give it a little bit of a highlight. And then you know what? I think I'm going to take a little bit of my brown and my orange. I'm going to move these here. A little bit of a darker orange or more of a terracotta. I grabbed the wrong orange. I'm just gonna give it a little swirl like that even. But see how doing that? I hardly have any paint on my brush at all. And I'm just kind of what we call, now that this is dried a little bit, it's more like a dry brush in there. But see how just doing that adds a little bit of dimension and texture to our flower. All right, so now that's the flower petals. I'll hold this up here, see if you guys, but see how it adds that little dimension to it and texture to it. Okay, now we're gonna do the center part here, right there. So I'm gonna give it, I got one coat of yellow on there, so I'm gonna go in and give it another coat of yellow. And this yellow that I'm using is King's Gold. I like this. It's a little bit of a thinner paint, so you do have to do a couple coats, but it's Apple Barrel, King's Gold, and I love this for my yellow. I use this a lot because it's not a bright yellow. It's a more of a mustardy kind of yellow. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of that orange and that brown. I'm going to come right along that edge there and just kind of work that in. I'm going to take some just straight brown and come in. Got a little yellow back in there. Kind of blend those two together. Now you could even take your brush and add just a teeny tiny bit of white in there and just kind of stipple right in there. And then I'm gonna wipe some of it off, that's a little bit too much. Just kind of blend that in. Just to get a little highlight there in the center. So you guys, it's as easy as that. It's just adding a couple other colors in there with it to give it a little bit of a highlight. So here I did a little bit of gray, a little bit of yellow and orange, and then on here I did a little bit of brown and orange with my yellow. So, alrighty, so I hope that helps you guys a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this. I gotta do some lettering on this. And I do like to add a little bit of detail with a pen around the edges, just to give it a little bit kind of that finished off look to it. So you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM, let me know. Otherwise, have fun painting. Oh, here, I'll show you again quick. See how we've got a little bit of that yellow and brown? And it's all kind of blended together there. All right, guys, have a good one.